What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. Today we've actually got two live games, I'm not live, full games. Remember a few episodes ago somebody said they'd love to see like a full game of me playing Foot Champs. And you know when I do like episode 1 or game 1 of every weekend league, I do it live, but because I'm playing it live, I'm not able to give the game my full focus and attention. I'm not able to give the comments my full focus and attention, and it just kind of ends up being a bit of a messy video in one way or another. So I got to 13 and 6 on Friday. I didn't play any games Saturday, and I started playing my games Sunday night. And I played my first 3 games, and you're about to see them here. I'm not going to give away the results. Actually, you're going to see 2 of the 3 here. Yeah, I'm not going to give away the results of those, but I'm gonna, we're gonna go through it. So I want you to enjoy the full game. It's going to be interesting for me to see how people enjoy a full game. I know like Twitch streamers get a lot of viewers. Jabba, Nick, Castro, David Myler when he streams gets lots of viewers. Gorilla obviously when he streams gets a lot of viewers. I watch some of the non-English speaking guys. Mo Aubameyang I watch does get a lot of viewers. I was watching Megabit yesterday. He actually played David Myler on stream yesterday. So, gameplay obviously has a place. And I feel like when we just cut the goals out, sometimes you don't understand the true context of the match. And it's always nice to feel and see the true context of the match sometimes, goals are just goals. And we've seen the same goal time and time and time again. One thing you'll notice here, we talked about the crossing in the last episode or the episode before. I'm still trying to perfect that. I'm still trying to understand the entire game mechanics and the full manipulation within those game mechanics for the crossing. So you see me in this game cross at very odd times from very odd angles, just trying to figure out the angles, just trying to figure out and understand exactly where it is effective and exactly where it isn't effective. And you see here off the cross, 10 minutes in, we actually get a goal. And that one of the things that I do love about the crossing, like that we've adopted over the last sort of like 3 or 4 days, is the fact that it causes problems, man. Even if you don't get the header and score the goal, you get corners. Like the amount of times I've crossed the ball and the goalkeeper has actually raised up, got a hand to it, and just tapped it down to my player for a tap in or for a square ball or for just an easy chance is crazy. I feel like the crossing is just really, really effective, which is why you saw me in this game and in game 2 switch to 4-4-2 formation. I've been watching a lot of the pros. I've been watching a lot more people. I really want to, and we've got a great comment to get into this. And in fact, we'll start with that. I was going to end with it, but we'll start with a comment from Big Body. I've been watching a lot of the pros because I wanna understand. I want to understand the why is what is effective. And so I went back and watched some past broadcasts of some of the players. I went back and watched the past broadcasts of Kurt, and I saw a few of his games, and he uses a 4-4-2. And I started doing something like I will be changing formation throughout the rest of the weekend league. This weekend league, obviously, I told you guys I'm going to play all 40 games, and I still intend to do that. But I'm trying different things through different formations, and I think in game 3, which is game 2 that you guys are going to see, I actually think I switched to a 4-4-2, but I believe I played Ronaldo at left mid and Promes at right mid and De Bruyne and Costa up front. And the reason why, or maybe De Bruyne at right mid, because the thing is when you play the 4-4-2 with this crossing manipulation, it crosses to the other winger basically. And when I saw Mo Aubameyang doing it, he had his he had one Ronaldo on the wing, one Ronaldo up front, and Bale on the wing. But there was one game where he had each Ronaldo on each wing and somebody else at striker, and that's because he would literally cross it from Team of the Year to Ronaldo to 94 Icon Ronaldo, and from 94 Icon Ronaldo to Team of the Year Ronaldo. And because they have the most insane stats and they're big and they've got good strength and good composure, they just won the headers constantly. So what my idea was after experimenting is that I kept coming up with, like I had Costa at left mid and Promes at right mid. And what kept happening is Promes would cross it to Costa, and Costa would cross it to Promes, and my 2 strikers, which at the time were De Bruyne and Ronaldo, would just be completely eradicated from the cross. Unless, obviously, it was a counter-attack and it was only Ronaldo in the box, then it would go to him, or if it was only De Bruyne in the box. But generally speaking, in a normal crossing instance, it would go to the other wide midfielder. So what I did instead was put the two guys that I want to be able to head the ball in those wide midfield spots, and that was Ronaldo and De Bruyne. So I played Ronaldo at left mid, De Bruyne at right mid, and then Promes and Costa up front. And you'll see that in game 2 and see how the effects come from that. Now the comment I want to read is from Big Body 907, and he puts in capital letters, no disrespect intended, which is always great, because I know from experience from being in this industry a lot, when people do this, they genuinely mean no disrespect, but because they do it, they're probably going to be disrespectful. But he says a lot of very valid things, and something that I definitely want to discuss here. He says, I think the answer to your FUT Champions problems is simple, bug. You're not as good as you think you are or should be. You can't handle the pressure yet. It does seem like you have an answer for everything that goes wrong, when it could easily be it's just because that you're not that good or you can't handle the pressure. Seems like you're rehashing the same topics over and over and over again. Your expectations are greater than your actual skill, which is why I commented a while ago just to have zero expectations, which was one of the top comments on that video, and you totally ignored it. I think your expectations are that of a player who is very close to being a consistent top 150 player, and your skills or lack of ability to handle pressure isn't there yet. Again, zero expectations, all the best to you and your fam. And then he got some heat in the comments, like in some replies, so he added an edit afterwards, and he said, edit, I just wanted to make it abundantly clear that I'm not being disrespectful. I don't even play FUT anymore since 2015, and I still watch your videos because I think your content is that good. However, in my opinion, your mental game hasn't caught up with your ability on the sticks yet. I think you definitely have the skills to be a top 100 player. I just think your mind hasn't caught up with your hands, so to speak. Anyone that can go 20 plus wins and less than 5 losses should easily be able to win 30 games consistently. I think you just psych yourself out too much, which is what I meant when I said you aren't as good as you think you are yet. Let's first of all address just a couple of things that I do take issue with. And like you said, it says you seems like you have an answer for pressure or for everything that goes wrong. When it could easily be that you're just not that good or you can't handle the pressure. I don't, perhaps, you know, it's unreasonable to expect every person to watch every minute of every video that I make or see everything that I do on social media and such. But I think I've openly stated many times that I know my biggest problem is the pressure and the fact that I can't handle it. I can't handle a high intensity game after game after game, and let alone just a high intensity game. You know, one game here or one game there against a really strong opponent with a really good team, I can handle that one game and not let it get the better of me. But you're right, constantly I buckle under my own mental pressure. But I feel personally like I've been open with that. Even since FIFA 17, I talked in FIFA 17 on stream and to Nick about potentially getting a sports psychologist. And you may think that sounds stupid, but as you say, it's the mental side of the game is my problem. Obviously, as an older person in this industry, you know, I'm 33 years old now. Obviously, as an older person in this industry, my reactions aren't as good as those of the likes of Gorilla or DH Tex or Kerr or Tas, you know, the younger generation that are playing this game. But as Dito has shown, it's not the most important thing. Because he obviously made it to the grand final of the FIWC. He lost to Gorilla. He won the PlayStation segment. And was it the FIWC that he lost? Either way, Dito made it to the final of the finals, and he lost. And he is 31, I believe. I also watched some Twitch streamers, Dr. Disrespect, Sacriel, Professor Broman. These are guys at the height of their gaming ability, and they're in their 30s. Maybe Broman's not quite 30 yet. But Sacriel, for example, is 33 or 34, and he's one of the most incredible gamers I've seen. He's methodical, he's tactical, he understands any game he plays inside out. And when he doesn't understand it, what he does is he tries to learn every single little thing about it to give himself the biggest advantage. And I think in that sense, I understand FIFA to that degree. I know every broken game mechanic. I know what does what, why, hows, and wheres. I absorb all the information. But as you say, Big Body, I don't have the mental capacity to play calmly and concisely at 100% level every game all the time. And that's nothing, as you say, to do with skill set. So, but I would argue that I've said that many times. I believe I've stated many times that, you know, I want to get better, but I don't have the mental pressure. And one thing that Java said to me earlier on in the year to get over that, he said, is that you've literally just got to play hard. You've got to put yourself in a situation where you're playing high intensity games very often, so that it becomes a normality for me. And I sadly just don't have the time to do that. You know, I'm a father of 2 now with a newborn. Already as a father of 1 was a struggle. You know, last year, God forbid, I had like so many like problems, just the weight of the world on my shoulders with my court case. And this year, you know, running 2 channels, I was streaming a lot. Like, it is an excuse, absolutely, but it's the truth. You know, I don't have the time to play 6 or 7 games against the pro every day to sharpen my skills and get used to playing under that intense pressure, 40 or even, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8 games a day. And I would love to be able to do that. It's just not there for me right now. So yeah, Jabba had suggested to me that, you know, the more you play, the less bothered you get. And dude, there are some games. This game actually that you're seeing, I am going to ruin the scoreline here a little bit. The result. This resulted in a win for me. This game, I won this game 2-0. And this guy was good, and he had a good team. And he's actually a fan of the series. So, dude, if you're watching Golden Boy, he sent me a message afterwards, a nice message, and he said he's, you know, watches me, AA, and Nick all the time without fail. He doesn't miss a video, so I assume he's going to watch this video. So, GG's. But in this game, he was very good, right? He was very good. He allowed the AI to defend. He used tracking with one player to just mark passing lanes, and it was really, really tricky to get chances. And I'm a bottle job, and this is what we go back to saying from Big Body, is I don't have the mental capacity to play to the best of my ability. And if you take emotions out of it, it's just a different world, right? But at 1-0 in this game around the 70th minute, I'm not kidding. My heart, I could. My girlfriend downstairs, who would have been asleep at the time we were playing this game, she could probably hear my heart beating. I was so nervous over a video game. And because I'm, you know, put it in context, I'm 1-0 up. I'm having a bad weekend, so every win is absolutely imperative to me right now. You know, I want to get those 29 wins. I want to get myself up to Elite 3 monthly and Elite 3 weekly. There's only 20 minutes left, and this guy's paused it to change formation. So I'm like, right, he's changing something. He's going to change his tactics. He's going to come at me. I'm terrible defensively. I'm only 1-0 up. My God, what if I lose this? I'm going to have like the worst weekend I've had in FIFA 18. And all of this together just made me nervous. And I'm just sitting there, my heart's fa-boom, 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 and my hands are shaking and I can feel it. And all I needed to do was just calm down. You know, like, it literally, if I'd have been in that situation 100 million times before by playing the best players all the time every day, it wouldn't have even fazed me. I would have been like, that's cool, this guy's made some changes, let me just make sure I slow the game down, walk the ball out a little bit, make some clever passes, and see the game out. And in hindsight, it's so easy to just say that, and it's so easy to look at this and be like, you know, if I watch this back, even though I won this 2-0 and I did score a late goal to make it 2-0, I probably will watch this back now and think and see and be like, okay, well, there was no reason to panic. You know, this guy, in game, when you're in one of these situations, you feel intense pressure, even though that's not the case. Like, there are some times, I watch Nick mostly, right? I watch Nick play FIFA mostly. And there are some times where he'll be like 2-0 up in like the 89th minute, and he'll just be panicking. And he'll be like, oh, you know, this game, don't screw me game, don't screw me game. And as a viewer, and as a outside world watcher, you're like, dude, this guy's not even getting close to you. Like, you know, you're passing comfortably, like the guy's not pressing you, he's using contain, so, you know, you could even just stand still and he wouldn't even come and get the ball off you. And as somebody who's not emotionally invested in the game, it's so easy to see clearly what's working and what's not working. But when you're in that situation, and I know you guys have been there because you play Foot Champs too, and the same scenario for Nick, you know, you're like, oh my God, if I concede one now, I'm liable to concede another one. Holy crap, what do I do? Your cognitive functions just fall apart, and your ability to make sensible decisions fall apart, and that comes down again to the mental capacity for playing this game. And some people are better at handling it than others, and as you know, as Big Body said, I'm not very good at handling it. But I would disagree with him that says that I seem to have an answer for everything that goes wrong, when it could be easily that you're not good enough or you don't handle the pressure. I feel like I personally say that. I feel like I personally say I can't handle pressure well. You know, the last 2 weekend leagues, I knew I wasn't going to finish all my 40 games, and I was just playing FIFA just because I wanted to play FIFA and it was fun, and I had 2 good weekend leagues, 18-3, which is well on course for Elite 1, and 21-4, which is well on course for Elite 1. I was actually 17-3 in that game as well. Well, I was 18-3 in that game as well. I think I got to 20-3 there and finished 21-4. But in the 2 weekend leagues recently, where I haven't intended to play all my games and I've had no pressure to play, so just playing for fun, when the pressure washes away, I just play a different style of FIFA. Now, fast forward to this weekend, and I started talking about, before the weekend league started, I want to play all 40 games. If I get 29 wins, I'll get Elite 3 monthly, and boom, that pressure, what happened? I was 4 wins and 3 losses. Then I was 7 wins and 3 losses, because funnily enough, the way my mind works, at 4 and 3, I'm like, it's over. There's no point even stressing anymore. Might as well just play to 11 wins and give it up there. And I got to 7 and 3, and I was like, hey, we're back here with a chance here. And I then went from 7 and 3 to 10 and 5. And I'm thinking, all right, well, I've screwed up again here. And after this game, we won the game that you saw first. I won the game in between, and we win this game as well. And so I actually end up going from 13-6 to 16-6. So, we've now put ourselves in a position where we only need to win 13 and lose 5, and we can get Elite 3. And that's just a very strong position to be in for me. That's a very, very strong position to be. I should be able to go 13 and 5. As you say, someone that plays it as much as I play it, and someone who does have the ability that I have, that shouldn't be a problem. And I know what's going to happen. I could probably call it. I'm going to have a really, really, really good run up till I get close to 29 wins, and then I'm going to start bottling it. I'm going to start playing stupid, making mistakes, giving up losses just for no reason. So that's one thing that I will say. Another thing that you said is that you put a comment that was top comment a while ago, and I totally ignored it. So what happens is, like, right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other comments prepared for this video, and we're already 2/3 of the way through the video, and I'm still on comment 1. It might have been a case where I selected your comment to read out, and I just run out of time. And in that instance, some people said, why not start putting just some bronze packs at the end so you can finish your discussions and conversations and stuff. And so we've basically addressed that, and we'll do that differently. And here today, although this is already looking like it's going to be a 26-minute long video, I will put the other game that's the middle game after, even if it's just highlights, so that I can get through all of these comments. But the likelihood is that if your comment was a top comment, I probably would have picked it for reading and just run out of time to finish reading it or to get it in the video. That's nothing that's like personal or me just ignoring something or someone in any particular manner. And then you say, I think your expectations are that of a player who is close to being a consistent top 150 player, and your skills or lack of ability to handle pressure isn't there yet. I would agree with that. I don't know if I'm top 100 caliber because of my mentality, or if because of my skill set. There are still so many things that I do wrong in this game that other people do right and still don't make top 100 all the time. For example, A9 skills, he's bounced in and out of top 100 all year this year, all year last year. He qualified, I believe, for 3 regional events last year. So he's clearly a great player. And he still misses out on top 100, even though he does the things right. So I don't think I'm on that level at the moment. So I don't think my personal opinion is that I'm an Elite 1 standard player that just doesn't have the mental capacity to maintain that. And that to me shows that I need to improve my game more. And although I do have, in my opinion, the skill set, it's what the problem is for me. It's not even offensive. It's not even attacking. It's not even understanding or not understanding the game mechanics. It's my ability to change my muscle memory to not apply the mechanics that are wrong that used to work a lot. Like in FIFA 16, using second man press was always really, really effective. I don't know why it was effective, but it was always really, really effective. This year, for whatever reason, and last year to a degree, for whatever reason, using second man press is the worst thing you can do, because what you do is you just drag your players out of position, and normally when you use second man press, it brings a defender up instead of taking a midfielder down. If the mechanics were different, and when you use second man press, it would always bring an attacking player back to press the ball, or a midfielding player in to press the ball, instead of a defensive player up to press the ball, using second man press might be much, much more viable. And there are some people that do use second man press a lot in this game and use it effectively. But what you basically want and what you basically need is you need your defense to stay in that line so that when you're not controlling them, they do the work for you. That's as sad as it is, the game is played like that, but that's the truth. That's how it is. You want the AI to kind of handle and manage the defense for you because they're just so good at it. So for me, every time I use second man press, I bring a defender out, I've caused myself problems. And I need to remap my mental, like my mind basically, to stop using that. Because until I tell myself and make it second nature to not use second man press, I'm always liable to lose games that I should win because I'm defending like I've played this game for the first time in my life. And that is nothing to do with my mental capacity in the sense of handling pressure, but more to do with my muscle memory and trying to forget something that I just do without even recognizing that I do it. You can even see it in this game all the time. I use second man press all over the shop, and it just, sometimes it works out in my favor, sometimes that pressure forces my opponent to make a mistake, but more often than not, as long as you're up against a competent player, more often than not, what happens is that you just give them space and time, and they end up creating goals out of it. And that's where I'm like, well, here we go again. I've conceded a goal to a guy because I've made a mistake, and he's not necessarily earned that goal. But now that he's got the goal, because he doesn't defend like an idiot and I do, he ends up winning the game. And that's on me to improve as a player, So I definitely think there's room for improvement for me. I don't think I'm a top 100 player at all. I would love to get there one day. Do I have it in me? Who knows? I definitely think I'm an elite 1 caliber player that just doesn't have the full skill set yet and the full mental range yet to get there. The other thing that you said, you carried on and said, I think your content is good. However, you said I go over the same topics over and over and over again. You can see in the comments yourself, if you read them, that the same questions that have been answered sometimes in a video are asked in the comment section, or the same question or comment from a video or two ago is again the top comment in the most recent video. And so I guess to me it means a few things. First and foremost, it means that either people aren't listening to the videos and they just want their comment at the top and to be read out, and they don't actually care about the response, they just care about being in the video, so they just spam the same comment. In fact, the top comment of a video a few days ago was the first comment that I read out and answered, because it was also the top comment the video before. And the replies to it were, dude, like, did you even watch the video? Your comment is in, you are the first one. And he literally replied with, I don't watch the videos, I just want to get top comment. And so I ended up deleting that comment. But it's like, what I want out of this game is just discussion, like from these videos. I want to discuss FIFA, I want to discuss life, I want to discuss us, our community. I want to just be that bridge between, a real world and a gaming world. Like that's what I want out of this. And so with that in mind, sometimes I say that I go over the same things a few times because I think, okay, maybe somebody missed that, maybe they're new here and they haven't heard that before, and they're just like, imagine if you join. In fact, one of the comments was, let me find it real quick, from Val. He said, started watching these videos since episode number 150 and I'm really enjoying them. And so, Val now might think to himself, he might have a question about something that we answered in episode 111, and maybe also episode 86, and maybe also episode 80, and maybe also episode 17. So we might have already answered Val's question 4 or 5 times over the course of the series, but he's a new viewer, and new viewers, I don't expect people to go back and watch every video. I don't even expect people to just generally watch every video. But if Val has a question and a lot of new people are here and thumb up and want answers, it just makes sense to me to give the answer again, if that makes sense. And on that note, well, first of all, to the first comment, I've already closed the comment down, so I've forgotten your name. I didn't take offence to that. You're absolutely right in a nutshell, and I need to reprogram my mind to deal with pressure in FIFA a lot better. And you would think with how much FIFA I've played, I would be able to handle that better. I don't know what the answer is there. I don't know how to control myself more so that I don't start panicking in tense situations. And I guess what Java said is probably the right way to go about it. Just throwing myself in the deep end and putting myself into those situations more and more and more so that they become normal rather than an anomaly will serve me much, much better. And sadly, if that is one of the only ways to do it, I just don't have the time in my life to do that right now, so that's quite sad. But on returns to Val's comment, started watching these episodes, these videos since 150, really enjoyed them. First of all, I appreciate that, Val. And second of all, for those of you that are watching, when did you start watching? What episode number was the episode number for you that you found this channel or came back to this channel and decided to start watching? I'm very interested to hear that. Next comment. So I am going to add a third game here. I might. I tell you what, we're gonna watch out the rest of this game, and then I'm gonna stop my camera recording real quick, and I'm gonna add the next game in so that I can manage the time with it. But it is a full game, so this might be like a 40-minute long episode. But I've still got 6 comments, and there are some comments that I know I want to read deeply. So you saw there right at the end, we put another cross in. Promes missed the shot. I don't know why he hit that with his left foot. I expected him to head it, or at the very worst, volley that with his right foot. But you can see here, I actually started controlling the game and closing out the game a lot more in the last 20 or 30 minutes. And it's funny because I was kind of coaching myself through this game. When I felt my heart pounding and pumping with 20 minutes to go, and I explained that earlier, you know, I started panicking. What I actually decided to then do was just say to myself, no, don't sweat. You're 1-0 up and then eventually 2-0 up. Just slow it down, play the sensible passes, and play this game normally. And what happened is that guy was very good, and I ended up closing out and dominating the game by the end of it. Ter Stegen for me managed 1 save, Farman for him only 3 saves, so not much by way of action. But if you look at the chances, I have more shots on target, more possession, more tackles, better pass accuracy, and generally controlled that game to a high degree that put me to 16 wins there. So this is the end of that game. I'm going to go and grab the other game. I will be right back. Alright guys, so I'm back, and we are back into the third game, which was actually the second game in this run of 3 games that I played. As you guys know, you would have seen by the record, I did win this game. This guy had a sick team as well. Pogba, Bailly, Valencia. I believe this resulted in a rage quit. It's only a 12-minute clip in total. So, yeah, but that's why I showed the second game just because it was a full game and it was a good game against a good opponent. But anyway, on to the other comments, because I have got lots of other comments to get through. And for those of you that love the long videos, this is right up your alley. Mitch Sacco had the top comment and the second top comment. So what a god he is. Says, I have no question today, but I wanted to appreciate your work by this comment. Love the series no matter what you do. Thank you. Well, thank you, Mitch. I do appreciate that. And his second comment was, I listened to your videos when playing Foot Champs, and I got Elite 3 monthly for the first time ever. Thank you. Dude, I'm so happy for you, man. I'm fighting hard this weekend to get Elite 3 monthly for myself. And I would actually be elated with Elite 3 monthly personally, given the fact that we haven't played a full weekend at all through February. Actually, that might be a lie. Did we play 40 in week 1? I think I got 29 wins on week 1, didn't I? Maybe I did play all 40 on week 1. But we didn't play all 40 week 2, and we didn't play all 40 week 3. So, I'm happy if I can get up to Elite 3 monthly. If I do bottle it, so be it. It's only FIFA. It's not the end of the world. You know, I know, just generally speaking, I know a lot of people love this Road to Glory, and I'm quite, I'm a little bit frustrated with myself with this Road to Glory. You know, and a lot of that does come down to the lack of opportunity to do anything because of how EA have kind of managed this game. But you know, the Road to Glory is supposed to be about fun, and I've seen by the fact that views have dipped a little bit just in FIFA in general, just because FIFA is a lot of people's not a lot of people's first choice anymore, and also I think YouTube's having some issues, so views are dipped. But generally speaking, even when we haven't taken Foot Champ seriously since before Christmas, right? So that's the back end of December, all of January, and all of February, and my views are still at a really high rate. You know, like 50 to 70,000 views per video for a Road to Glory on a second channel is insane. I'm super chuffed with that. So it just goes to show that we're not dependent on Foot Champs to have this Road to Glory work. But the sad part is that without Foot Champs, there's just nothing to do. There's nothing to play for. There's no reason to play this game. Yeah, for those of you that are still here, for those of you who watch, I appreciate it. You know, what I wanted from this Road to Glory was the world. You know, I wanted to have, at the end of the year, the most insane team, the most insane record. You know, I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to hit top 100 at least once this year. We've already broken our record of Elite 1 finishes. You know, we got 1 Elite 1 in FIFA 17. We had already had 2 Elite 1 finishes by like week 7 in FIFA 18. And I really thought after hitting Elite 1 twice very early, I was like, okay, we've got the foundation now. We're a minimum 30 win a week player, and we can push on from that. And it just fell apart a little bit, quite honestly. So, you know, and what happened was when I was playing FIFA all day, every day, I was playing well. I was getting top 100 finishes in squad battles, and this account was just accelerating at a rate of knots. You know, we was getting so many coins, so many players. But then sadly, you know, we stopped playing as much. We got burnt out of squad battles, which is understandable with the prize structure remaining exactly the same. 45 games for a couple of mega packs now, just not worth literally just not worth the time. We got burnt out of foot champs, and just generally, you know, I had a little more going on in life that took up time that meant I couldn't spend as much time on FIFA. My physical being goes from good to bad regularly. You know, during the summer months, I get a lot of time to put into working out and eating healthy, because there's like FIFA dies down, the back end of the game, like videos become a lot easier to make. I generally put out less videos. You know, last year at the back end of FIFA, we actually just stopped on this channel. We stopped uploading completely on this channel. We started the PlayStation Road to Glory because we was on Xbox. I wasn't really feeling it, so we just stopped. We didn't upload for like 3 weeks, which gave me so much more time to just work out, enjoy life, eat healthy, spend time on my family and on my nutrition. But then there's times during the start of FIFAs where I don't have time, and so I get out of shape and I eat crap, and it all falls apart. And I think with the start of this FIFA, for the first 10 weeks, because I put in 10 hard weeks, you know, like I'm talking 120 to 140 games a week over a 10-week period because of squad battles, foot champs, daily knockouts, spamming divisions, playing games. I was actually playing squad battles on 2 accounts. I did it on my Xbox account and on my PlayStation account. I got top 100 on each console on the same week. That's how many games I was, you know, how much effort I was putting in. And it was just having a really, really negative impact on my life, to the point where the financial gain from those big videos and that extra views on YouTube just wasn't worth it for me. You know, it just wasn't worth it. And so I changed that. What a lovely goal that was. What a lovely goal that was. So I changed it. But yeah, I wanted so much more for this. You know, I get really jealous when I see Nick's Road to Glory, when I see Fuji's Road to Glory, when I see AA's Road to Glory. You know, they all have much, much better teams than me. I'm not saying my team is bad by any stretch of the imagination, but if everybody on each of their 4 Road to Glory accounts sold every sellable item in their club, I would have the least coins, and I would have the least valuable players as untradables. You know, Fuji has that Prime Vieira, he has that Ruud Gullit, he has that 95 Messi. Nick has that 92 Hazard. He's got 3 or 4 incredible untradeable prime icons. He's got that 96 striker Ronaldo untradeable. A9 Skills has his icons untradeable. His good red cards untradeable. I just don't have it, and it sucks, not because I'm in competition with them, but because I see what they've achieved, and I feel like I've let myself down. I thought that should have been a red card, by the way. I was 1-0 up here in the 32nd minute, and I was like, damn, that's going to be a red card. He only gave a yellow. If the roles were reversed there, I'd have been screaming that wasn't a red card. But yeah, you know, I come away disappointed that I can see what I could have had, and I don't have it, and that frustrates me with me. And so I want to do better in this Road to Glory. I'm working on some things. Obviously, my son was born last week, so well, it's like 11 days old now, but almost 2 weeks ago, and that threw me through a loop. He came a week early, but I wanna figure some stuff out for the Road to Glory that's really, really, really gonna change our fortunes, whether it be trading, grinding, playing, getting better at the game. I don't know, but we'll figure something out. I'm certain. You know, I've always got the drive to do it. We get Luis Mendoza says, before your videos I wouldn't ever think of playing players off chem, but after seeing you not always play everyone on 10, I've started using Promez and Munir on 7 chem and each one of my teams, and it works so much better than forcing in other players. But the question I have is, at what point does low chem become truly effective? Well, face card stats will be 5 chemistry and 100 team chemistry. You'd actually get a minor boost there, 4 you'd get a minor reduction. It's around in between 4 or 5. I would personally say that if you can start someone on 7 or 8 chemistry, you will get a boost that will be good unless you rely heavily on the pace. The technical and mental stats don't really mean all that much in a grand scheme of things with the boost, but the pace might be noticeable. For example, your Munir, you know, if you have a shadow on him, I think with 7 chemistry, I'll assume as well that you have Futmus Munir, right? And if I'm saying his name wrong, I apologise, but I'll assume you have Futmus Munir. So if you whack a shadow card on him on 10 chemistry, he goes up to 94 sprint speed and 90 acceleration, which is very, very high. But if you play him at 7 chem like you've got, he goes down to 90 sprint speed and 83 acceleration. So he actually loses a big portion of that pace boost. If you go but on 7 chem, it's still playable, right? I don't think pace is the be all and end all. If you go down to 6 chem, it gets to the point where it's actually probably not worth it. You know, it goes down to 88 sprint speed and 81 acceleration, and then on 5 chemistry, he goes down to 87 sprint speed and 79 acceleration, getting the most minor boost to the point where you're actually better off probably not using him. I personally think 7, 8 or more chem, 7 or more chem I think is more than enough and more than reasonable. Personally, I think if you start using players on 6 chem or less, you're going to struggle, unless those players have exceptional stats. For example, the guy on the screen right now, Team of the Year De Bruyne, I would happily use him on 6 chemistry because his stats are just so strong anyway that he doesn't need a big boost anywhere. You know, he already gets his stats capped with chem style, so it doesn't make much of a difference. Antoine Griezmann, thank you for being on the video, friend. He says, first of all, he says, you score so many fluky goals, which I do, sure. He replies immediately after with, but get really unlucky. How did he score those goals with Luis Hernandez? What the F? And yeah, dude, it's wild, man. Like, I do score a lot of jammy goals. A few in this video. I do score a lot of jammy goals, but I concede some goals that just frustrate me. And I wonder if it's me not understanding certain game mechanics. For example, that guy in the last video that you're talking about, I think I was 3-0 up against him or 3-1 up against him. And he scored 3 goals with Luis Hernandez with his back to goal, outside of the box, under pressure from my players, and he just swivel hit them and they flew into the back of the net. And I just think that's an unreasonable way to concede 1 goal, let alone to concede 3 goals. You know, I don't think it should be reasonable that a player can have his back to goal being pressed by defenders, have a full line of defence and potentially midfielders in his way, have a top quality goalkeeper in goal, and without generating any power or anything like that, just spins on a sixpence and bangs it to the back of the net. I sit there and I look at those goals and I just think that should we be exploiting this? Is this something that should be we should be looking into as a potential broken mechanic, or did I just get exceptionally unlucky in that game? Or has this guy figured out that Luis Hernandez shooting from that range is broken, or, you know, whatever, wherever, whenever we should be together. Kieran Mason says, hey Nep, do you think it's imperative to have a striker with 4-star skills on this game? Keep up the good work. I would say it's far more important to have a striker with 4-star weak foot than it is 4-star skill moves. The hill-to-hill flick, the ball roll, the roulette, they're all skill moves that are applicable for 3-star skillers. The only thing you get out of the 4-star strikers is the scoop turn, the rainbow flick if you ever wanted to do it. I don't think you'd ever want to do a rainbow flick. The scoop turn and the Berber spin, right? The stop and turn. I think they're the only ones that reasonably are usable skill moves for 4-star skillers. But yeah, I would say personally that 4-star weak foot is more important. I've still got 2 comments, man. And they're both comments that are going to be long discussions that I would love to have discussed. One from Aussie FIFA HD, one from Andrew Chatterjee. I'm going to save those comments for the next video. I think the next video we'll do another full gameplay game, maybe 2, and discuss more, because I had fun here today. I know it might have been a lot of talking for a few of you guys that aren't used to these kind of long videos. But yeah, generally speaking, I had fun here today. I got 3 good wins as well, man. You know, 2 rage quits and that 2-0 win against that guy that was good. That guy had a sick team as well, and I absolutely smashed him. You know, dominated possession, dominated chances, ended up getting a couple of goals, and he rage quit there at the end. This De Bruyne goal, I thought this was a really nice goal. Promise steps inside, Rui Costa's there. I could have shot with Rui Costa, but De Bruyne with that 5-star weak foot now, he can shoot from anywhere. And then Ronaldo's finish here, I don't think we get to see it actually. Yeah, we don't get to see it because the guy rage quit. But that, guys, is going to be the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.